Hello, hello. Long time no see. Today I want to show you my Spiral Volley Ranger that I created after the patch, basically. Um, Before it was really bad because Spiral Volley really needs the friendly charges, right? This is really, really good if you can get the friendly charges constantly up. But the problem was with Combat Frenzy, you could only create a charge every 5 or so seconds. And now with the level 20 Combat Frenzy, this is around, I think, 1.2 seconds. I still need to get one. I could actually buy one level 20. I haven't thought about this. But you can, with this, you can get a friendly charge every like 1.2 seconds, and you can also get a friendly charge by a sniper's mark if you want to. And now your sustain is way, way better, and I'm going to show you in a second how this character is going to play out. I think we first should do a map, and then we talk about the character. Let's go onto my map, just do some random, this is woodland. Something over here, I think, actually. Yeah, let's just do this, whatever. It's kind of unfortunate that there's no breach on it, but I don't think I can get it on there anyways. All right, pretty easy map, tier 13. And I will show you what's going on. All right, so with this character, you need to make sure to, in general, just first get some charges up, but in this easy map, it's not really that important. So basically, we just stomp it through. And everything just fucking dies. But for single target, you still want to use Lightning Rod. I think there is no way around it. Like, if you play a Ranger, there's also no way around going Lightning overall. Everything else is just kind of meh, because Lightning Rod is just so fucking strong. So for bosses, what we can do here is... Okay, and he's already dead. But what you want to do for bosses, usually, you want to use Lightning Rod, obviously, and you want to use your barrage, and usually they're just one shot. Like, if you can't get him down with one barrage, lightning rod volley, then you want to use Orb of Storms to trigger the lightning rods. What you can also do is you can get lightning arrow in for single target, but then you have I think it's just too much skills, and for mapping it's not very important, but for bossing the obvious setup is always lightning rod and lightning arrow. There is really no way around it, and if you want to see a good guide for that with cast on crit and cast on freeze and whatnot, look at Fabgun's build, but it's also like very expensive if you want to get all this stuff going. I mean, this character is also like 60 details or something. And it's not ideal for single target anyways, because we do have a short bow here, because to make this skill feel good, you need a lot of attack speed. Otherwise, it's pretty shit. Alright, I think it's... I think I've shown enough, right? So this is really good for charge creation if you run out of charges and you run into a mob, right? And otherwise, what you can do is you can hit with a sniper's mark, or you can just hit the lightning rod. This should also be good against most enemies to get a charge going. It really doesn't matter too much. And you would also be, normal maps, you would also be good just spamming volley, to be honest. That's not the most effective thing to do. I tried to get Sniper's Mark on cast on Shock, but the problem is it's not good enough with the charge creation, and it takes so much spirit. And I kind of have spirit problems. If you have way more spirit than I do, you can play around with cast on crit or cast on shock. But for me, it was not really doing it. And maybe the Orb of Storms as well. Like, this would be good on a cast on crit, right? Or a cast on shock. But the problem is also your mana cost will go through the roof. So it's overall, I don't think it's not very ideal unless you do in the box. Alright, map done. Get the fuck out of here. But as you can see, pretty easy grind. Let's quickly talk about the setup here. There's some stuff that I have in my bow, doesn't really matter. So we need Spiral Arrow, definitely also quality everything as always. Then Lightning Infusion, Martial Tempo, Acceleration. You don't have to get Acceleration here. It feels good, but it also feels good on the Lightning Rod because it's gonna come down quicker, right? What you can also do is you can put it this way around, for example. But I think it feels like this is the best setup. And I also feel like the skill is faster for some reason when you put Acceleration in. Then we have Heft, and then we have Ricochet. Ricochet, I'm not really too sure about this. I think it's good. You could also get Ricochet on your tree. This is 15% and this is 5%, but it needs 4 points. So I'm not really sure about this. I think what the usual setup, or similar to the usual setup, Scatter Shot, I have Lightning Pen, Lightning Exposure, Primal Armament, and Concentrated Effect. If you want to use this for more clear, you can also get Area of Effect and switch this out. Right, then it will have way more area, but the problem is it's not as condensed. So for a single target, I think Concentrated Effect is probably the best. Then we have Barrage. You definitely want Premeditation on this. Then Perpetual Charge, so it doesn't consume charges sometimes. It's pretty good. And Second Wind, so you can use it more often. You don't really use this very often anyway, so Second Wind is really good, and I think the cooldown on Blink is better here. Like Ingenuity is better on the Blink. Sniper's Mark, just occasionally cast this. Usually I don't really use this. And as I said, like on a cast on crit setup or whatever, you can also try. But it's not that important in my opinion. And crit is also kind of meh. Like you could go completely non-crit. I have a crit bow now, so I did decide to go for crit, but crit is kind of meh in this game anyways. Then Freezing Salvo. Freezing Salvo is always good. Frost Nexus, like for crowd control, right? And you can also like initially get almost always get a charge with this, because it's almost always freezing your mobs. Then Orb of Storms, like I couldn't really show this properly because the yellow mob instantly died, but what you usually want to do is you do Barrage, you do Lightning Rod, you put a Orb of Storm down, and then the mob should already be dead. What I really don't like about Orb of Storm is that you cannot cast it further away. Maybe there's a skill thing that you can do, and it's casting fairly slow. But it is what it is. Actually, I should probably get in tempo on here. Yeah, this is way better. I haven't really thought about this, but this is better. Because this is already pretty fast, right? And we don't use this very often anyways. But yeah, I can tempo, persistence, and... Oh, actually, I did something wrong here. No, not wrong, but I changed my setup. So you definitely won't have chain on your Orb of Storms, so it chains more often to your Lightning Rods. But I'm just going to upgrade this and then put chain in here, right? Skill Effectuation I would definitely take, and Overabundance. This is not that important, I think, for normal mapping and whatever. You just put one orb down and boss is already dead. Then we have Blink. Blink just feels very, very good. You can definitely not use Blink, as I said, and try a custom crit setup. Then Wind Dancer, the usual stuff. Blind, Clarity, could put something else here as well. And Combat Frenzy with Profusion. Not that important, but there's nothing else to put on here anyways. So, but actually it's good, yeah. And Precision. Okay, so let's quickly look at... Actually, let's first look at the tree. Like, the gear is not really that important. Just get a quick bow and get projectile speed here, or... I mean, just get good gear, I guess. And the only thing that is really important is these gloves, because lightning damage on hits contribute to electrocution buildup, and without electrocution buildup, you cannot get frenzy charges. This is only for electrocute, right, and for freeze and pin. I think you can try to go with like a pin setup. There is boots that give you pin, but overall lightning is just so strong. I don't think you should miss out on lightning damage. It's just, I think it's the best variant you can go for overall. But yeah, definitely need electrocute. And if you do not have electrocute on your gloves, you can definitely run other gloves. Without the corruption, it's kind of meh. They could have -15 attack and cast speed, which is not really that great. But then make sure that you definitely run electrocute here. What is it called? But the thing that gives electrocute build up, that you definitely want this for your spiral volley. All right, let's quickly look at the tree. I think pretty standard. We get all the electrocute nodes here. We get magnitude here. For bossing, I suggest... Wait, no, actually, I think this is kind of the bossing setup that I had before. Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, actually, no. This is fine. This is pretty good. I think this is pretty optimized. Make sure you get this attack speed node. This is kind of optional. Like if you're not a crit build, I think you might want to get rid of this. But every piece of attack speed that you can get on your tree, I think you should take. And it's also questionable, like for mapping, you definitely don't need this. This is complete overkill. Like everything dies one shot anyways, and this is 1, 2, 3 wasted nodes. But I also don't know what else to go from here. You can also, like if you want to fit back in your Herald, right? The main reason why I did not is I just didn't feel the need. I think my clear is pretty good without. There was really no reason to get back into Herald, and I'd rather take the blink. But I could also get some more spirit and then fit it back in. But yeah, just didn't feel the necessity. Obviously, Herald always feels good, and you can definitely, if you are really rich, you can make a code version like Top Gun, or like make a version where you have enough code damage that you can also shatter. Then you have even more clear, but I think it's really unnecessary for this build. The jewels, they are really expensive. Like basically all of my jewels have 15% increased bonus from equipped quiver. So yeah, this build is heavily invested in, but you really don't need this if you don't have the money. Just get the normal stuff here: projectile speed, projectile damage, attack speed, especially attack speed, and you are Gucci. All right. Anything else that is important here? I think overall this is just looking pretty standard. As I said, I have all the crit nodes. I think if I wouldn't have gone crit, I would definitely go with this. Lightning damage with non-critical hits is lucky. Pretty nice. And yeah, you can also go for more movement speed or whatever, but yeah, as I said, I think it's overall a pretty standard tree. Just make sure you get the friendly things here. I mean, this one is not really that important. I think this one is good. But you don't really need that extra damage, that amount of extra damage for mapping. Everything, as I said, is one shot. All right. Anyways, let's quickly look at the gear. It's pretty standard movement speed here. A bunch of resistances. That's pretty much it. High evasion, high life. And everything is with dex and int, basically, so we can get enough intelligence that we can run blink and cast on crit if you want to do a boss setup, right? Yeah, pretty good quiver. Also on the quiver, dexterity is pretty good because it's getting amplified. But yeah, nothing too special. And make sure, as I said, get a quick bow. This is not even ideal. Like ideally, you would want a bow with attack speed, right? Like 1.45 or something. Then it will feel even better. This was the only one that was available, but I might soon look for another bow. And for single target, as I said, if you do bossing, if you do trials, and you are going to the boss room, 100% exchange spiral arrow with lightning arrow, and then what you do is you exchange ricochet here for the chain that you have in your orb of storms. So your lightning rod gets triggered more often. Which I don't have in here because I'm fucking, yeah, I need to get this slot. And anyways, you put chain in lightning arrow, right? But I think Fabgun has a better video on this anyways. But now Fabgun is using cast on crit, so it's I think he's triggering with other skills, but you definitely want this lightning arrow. And also for bossing, I highly suggest you get rid of all of this and you just go 2 arrows and you go this, right? Because you will do way more damage. Do not try to boss with Spiral Volley. It is the skill itself does a lot of damage, but it is abysmal, right? Still, it's very slow, and you want your charges, and you will not really get it as much on a boss. It's not good to boss with. No fucking way, right? Just flip this out, do lightning arrow. I wish I could just click here and it would not switch everything out, but yeah, go with lightning arrow. And you can also, like, if you really want, get rid of freezing salvo, get rid of sniper's mark, and you can also always put this in if you want to. But you gotta flip the passives around anyways. These are basically the same. As I said, you just need to switch ricochet for chain, so you trigger your your lightning rods more often. Right, I think that's it for the character overview. I still don't have, as you see, I still don't have my 8 points. I tried tonight, and I died like 3 times. I tried the Trial Master. He one-shot me when he was like 3 HP, and same with the time guy. On my first 2 runs, I had big mana issues, and that was the biggest problem why I didn't kill him. And also my setup was not optimal, so my damage was not optimal. But yeah, I gotta try again, and obviously what you want to take here is I mean, actually, you could go for this, or you could go for this. It doesn't really matter, but I think I would prefer Wind Ward. It's pretty good. Our damage is good enough, anyways. All right, guys, thank you for watching, and yeah, we'll give you an update soon. I don't think I'm gonna make another character. It's just too inconvenient, but I will do some interesting stuff with my ranger once it's fully done. Thanks for watching, guys, and bye.